Welcome to the Killing Podcast, Season 3, Episode 10, 6 minutes.
I bet this takes longer than 6 minutes.
It might. 36 minutes?
36? That's probably pretty accurate.
I'm your host, Martha Southgate, and with me is...
Rob Southgate, as per usual.
As per usual.
Okay, I want to get into this one.
Holy cow.
Let me just say that the beginning, I kind of thought this is what was going on, but I was still watching going, are we really seeing this or what? Because what we see at the beginning is we see what appears to be Seward getting the rope tied around his neck. They keep looking very nervously at the clock. The thing's ticking down. The phone doesn't ring. They drop it. And it's a dummy. But until we knew for sure that it was a dummy in just practice, I thought, are they cutting to the chase? Is he getting hung?
Right.
I mean, I really did get
Before
suckered
the
on it.
episode even gets going. She
Yes.
didn't get to ask him anything.
Which they could have. I mean, that could have been what happened here.
That would have sucked.
Oh, man. Okay, so now...
So it was just practice.
But
we know that
here's
now.
the important thing. We now know it's execution day.
12 hours until his execution.
It's not a lot
I
of
would
time.
have such raging diarrhea, it wouldn't even be funny.
I think you got it just watching the episode.
I think I did.
Gross.
Sarah goes to see him, to go see Seward.
Yes.
And she asks him if he recognizes the rings, and he says it's his wife's wedding rings, which we suspected
Right.
in the last episode.
And he gives her all these details about them.
And
Like, at first, she's like, it's a ring. Like, he's not even playing ball. But then he starts telling her things like, I bought it here.
Right.
It was cheap. It was this. It's his
but
ring.
he hated her. Like, he was just...
But he's saying that, too. Like, he hates her, and he's
Right.
mad, and, like, all that stuff is bubbling up. But you know what? You can tell he recognizes this ring.
Oh, yeah, that's the ring he bought. And Joe Mills had that ring in his possession, so she goes to tell Skinner. And she calls Holder to get the file. So now she's saying, okay, we're back in. This is connected. These
Right.
cases are connected.
Right, and she's got to try to get something going here,
She has
or Seward's
12
dead.
freaking hours.
That's right.
So Seward is eating breakfast, and Francis is talking to him again. Talking trash.
Right.
Because
trying to-
Francis is such... I mean,
I said he was
really.
eating his last meal, but he's not.
No,
but he's
just having
eating
breakfast.
pretty close to his last meal, and Francis is just harassing him. Now, the reason that's happening is Francis's whole life outside of the prison fell apart last episode.
Right, and
That was
Seward keeps
yesterday.
digging the
That-
wound.
That was probably 12 hours before this.
Right. Well, it's continuing. I mean, it's
Right,
an
but-
ongoing falling
but
apart.
when it happened...
But his son is now
Right.
in juvie hall.
And
like,
now, instead of being able to deal with that, he's the principal guy on this execution. He is taking it out on Seward.
So Henderson is on death watch. He's got to sit there and make sure that Seward doesn't kill himself before they kill him. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
don't
just
want
the
that.
stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
But they do that. So he has to make sure that Seward doesn't hang himself before they hang him.
Right.
And
I'm sure that has to do with legality, like insurance and how funds are dispersed, and because if he commits suicide, his family doesn't get anything. I mean, there's all sorts of weird things here, which is why they have to do it that way. So they're really protecting the family at that point, I believe. I could be wrong.
I have no idea.
I think I have an idea.
I just think that they would have done
Yeah, well, yeah, the thing is always to say, well, let them just do it, but that's not how it works. No. Plus, what if the governor calls?
Right.
Could happen.
So Sarah's at the prison when Adrian and his foster mom come in to see Seward, and Seward starts talking to Sarah about trees, and
Yes.
he asks if Adrian is there, and what does he look like, and he asks about Jack, and
When he's really, like, he loves outside, which is so sad.
Yes.
But he loves outside. That's why he's asking about the trees. It's
Yes.
like, did you see those trees?
They were the trees he had.
But he can see them
Yes.
from his window, so he's talking about these trees. Even though we saw what it looks like through his window, it's not real clear. It's pretty gross. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, and that ties into a lot of this because he's not. They're trying to humanize him here.
Mm-hmm.
Show that he's trying to think of other things, anything else. Let's talk about the trees.
Mm-hmm. So Sarah talks to Seward, and they're talking about the trees. They're talking about, Jack and Adrian and all
Right.
that, and she describes adrenaline to him.
Right, what's going on for him right now. The other thing is, she describes Adrian's room to him at this point.
Yeah.
And she kind of profiles him, which is interesting that she kind of goes into that mode. And he does ask about Jack and says that the foster mom was there earlier, wants him to see Adrian. Guards come in right then, take Seward away.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a guy's last day. What's going on here?
Sarah calls Francis on his violation. I mean, seriously. Right. But he's worried the weight'll be off, and Seward's worried the weight'll be off and he won't die.
Right.
And he's taking his anger and fear out on Sarah.
Right. And Sarah's yelling like state mandates at Francis, trying to get, hey, he has a legal right and everything. And at the same time, Seward's freaking out because he's got to get Wade again.
And he admits to being an abusive husband, but he's not a killer.
Right.
And Sarah gets a call and doesn't tell Seward what's going on. She just leaves. Can you imagine?
Right, but he also says, I don't want you to leave. Don't leave. And she's like, I have to get this
call. But
call.
not just that. Is it the governor?
Right.
Who's
you don't know
calling?
What it is. Well, the governor wouldn't call her, but
it doesn't matter.
Maybe her
she
friend
doesn't
at the
know,
DA.
the lawyer, anybody.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even tell. I can't stand the lack of communication.
Yes.
Holder's there, and he's got the pictures that she needed. And he goes out to talk to...
Wait a minute. We also should say Holder is really messed up. The last time we saw him, he was still... Yeah. And he is clearly messed up. At least he didn't fall back into drugs, but he was drunk, and it's very obvious he's hungover.
He goes out to talk to Adrian, and he offers him a cigarette.
Yeah.
Way to go, Holder.
That's a Holder move right there. Hey, little man.
So Sarah's showing Seward pictures.
Right. Well, she's showing him pictures of Adrian.
Yeah, the pictures that Holder just brought.
This whole episode, this is one that we probably don't have a lot to talk about with this, because a lot of the episode is Sarah and Seward. There's not a lot moving forward, but what is moving forward is really crucial.
It's all relational at this point.
But yeah, it's really just she's trying to give him something. She knows he's not guilty, but she can't do a darn thing about it. And he's trying to hang on, but he keeps saying he doesn't want Adrian to come in.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want that, or he doesn't even say it. He just is avoiding it.
Yeah.
And she's trying to encourage him to let Adrian come in. But he doesn't want to have that happen.
Sarah's alone with Adrian at one point, and Adrian says that it was his dad who killed her.
Yeah, he tells her that he saw it was Ray that night.
Says, really, it was Joe Mills.
Yeah.
And clearly it was not.
Yeah, so he's saying it was clearly Ray, which, of course, upsets Sarah to no end.
Right.
But you know what? Here's the thing. When he was saying this, the kid has already lied once.
Right.
And the fact that he's saying it was his dad,
But who calls their dad out?
But Ray has been... I can't believe it was Ray.
I know, but my point is...
He's been so honest about his shortcomings, and then to have it be like, oh, it was him the whole time. I just don't...
It doesn't ring true.
No.
And he doesn't... Adrian, who calls out their dad?
Right.
And the guy is about to die.
Why
wouldn't he save it? I don't understand any of this.
Wait a minute. There's another thing that happened in here. Before she talked to Adrian, Sarah got a call from the Attorney General, and the Attorney General is actually considering a stay of execution. So this is a big deal. Then Adrian says it was Ray.
Which, there you go, we're done.
Right.
Now, he just put that nail in his coffin.
Right. So then we see Holder outside, and he's very upset by all of this.
He's throwing beer cans at the unmarked graves behind the prison.
Yeah, he's flipping out about Bullet. I'm sure he's flipping out about the stress over Seward dying.
Right.
He knows that it's tearing Sarah up. He knows that Sarah believes that Seward didn't do it.
Right.
Although he doesn't know what just happened.
Right. So Sarah goes to Seward and
tells him about the possible stay.
Well, she confronts him.
Right, but does confront him.
And about being there that night. And she demands the truth.
What does he do?
Go ahead.
He doesn't talk.
So she leaves.
He does what? It's another communication issue. It's like, maybe, if he didn't do it, maybe he's feeling like she's betraying him by even questioning it.
Right.
But, dude, tell her.
Right.
This whole time you've been playing this game, and now you're in this 0 hour.
Right.
Not with Anthony Edwards.
Holder.
That was a reference
so
to 0 hour.
So she's leaving. She wants to leave the prison. She's done. She's thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
Holder accuses her of leaving and not seeing it through. And I loved this. His moment of levity here. He says, "I won't kiss you again if you leave.
Right.
I won't try to kiss you again."
I have a feeling that maybe him throwing the beer cans burned off the steam he needed.
Right.
Now we've got
so
Holder
he was
back.
able to joke around a little bit. Sarah's with Seward again because, of course, she didn't leave.
Yes.
But she wants to know, why is he hiding? Why was he there? Like, what was going on if he's innocent?
Yeah.
What was he doing there? How come Adrian said it was him? And he says he ran, and then he came back for Adrian, and when he went back, she was lying on the floor.
Right.
So something
else
killed
happened.
her while he was gone.
But why did Adrian say it was Ray?
Right. Ugh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. So, Sarah gets a call again.
Okay.
This is important.
Okay.
There's no stay. They're not going to do a stay of execution. So Sarah has to go in and she has to tell Seward, "I'm so sorry, there's no stay."
And she tells Seward, "Don't leave without letting him see you and know you."
Right.
And she said, "I know what it's like to never have that."
Oh.
And he's waiting for you.
He's just
so
sitting
now
out there.
she's saying, "Look, it's inevitable.
Yeah, it's inevitable. This is over.
And you have an opportunity to fix this.
Yes.
And to do one good thing with your time left." So Adrian wanted to clean his shoes before he sees his dad, and then Holder, oh my gosh, I love this scene.
Yeah.
Holder goes and fixes his hair for him, and they get him all straightened up.
He's very dad-like here.
He's so nurturing.
Yeah, when he did this, it reminded him how he was with Jack. Like, he loves kids.
He loves kids, yeah.
And he's
not in a Joe Mills
No, not
way.
in Joe Mills. No. Wow.
Oh, no.
He's very, like,
guy.
daddish. And Adrian, too, he was nervous about seeing his dad, but he wanted to look the best he could. He wanted to get those shoes cleaned, and he wanted to look good. I mean, it's like this whole thing is gut-wrenching, but at the same time kind of sweet. You know?
Yeah.
There's a sweetness to it.
Sarah is working with Seward, kind of gearing him up for the visit.
Right.
And Seward starts telling her about the treehouse he built Adrian when Adrian was 6 years old.
Yeah, this was interesting. He said that, because we saw where they lived, and he says, I built him this treehouse, and we didn't really have trees around us, so we had to go out into the woods.
They had no grass, like nowhere for him to play.
And he says it was outside of the city where I built this treehouse, and he said that way he could run around. And, we're seeing this because he kept talking about the trees. He obviously was like, nature is important to this guy. And you know what? Maybe if this guy had that awful father that we saw,
right, and
hadn't been trapped in this grind in the city, it might have been a different story. And with this woman that he obviously hated, I wonder what the story is
trapped.
there.
Well, he said he felt trapped with her,
right?
Because she got pregnant.
Was she like Francis's wife? Was she horrible? Or?
I think so, and she was. He felt that she was doing things that trapped him and caused him to have to make choices. Well, not have a choice.
Right.
And so he begrudgingly gave her the ring. He did this,
right.
Not that he wanted a child with her. He didn't want Adrian. He didn't want to be with her. And
right, but at the same time,
felt trapped.
He got Adrian's tattoo on him. He did those things. So it's like,
once
he didn't want this, but
once he...
And I wonder if he really was the more nurturing of the two. We've assumed that it's always her because they painted him to be abusive and everything.
Right.
But was he abusive to Adrian? No, they've never said that. And he seems like he really loves his kid.
And keep in mind,
but now he doesn't want his kid to see this.
He was in prison until Adrian was 7 months old.
Right.
Too, so he never even saw him until he was 7 months old. So, there's a whole lot of stuff going on there, a whole lot of layers to that relationship.
Yeah, right.
And so Seward tells Sarah, "I know that you did everything you could for me." And so that was good because Sarah needed to hear that.
Still, that she's
eating up.
This is ripping her up.
Because she's the one who put him there originally. And not by herself, but with Skinner.
But she played a part in him getting put in prison. And she knows in her heart that was not, he's not the guy.
Right. And so just as Adrian is about to be brought in, Francis stops it. And
oh my God, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I mean, what kind of heinous person?
And he's like, nope, time's up. You had until 5 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock. Done.
No.
And they were holding him out there.
Yes, they did it on purpose.
Oh my
gosh. To screw with this guy.
Sarah goes nuts.
Oh, heck yeah, she does.
She is furious.
And they're devastated. You can imagine. They're absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
And here this kid has been waiting since that morning. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, and it's an awful visual because you've got the foster mom and I think Holder's there and Adrian, and they're all standing in the hallway.
Yeah, watching through the glass.
And Sarah's in the room, and they will not let them in. And they can hear her screaming at them. Oh my gosh, talk about this kid needing therapy. I mean, it's going to be terrible.
He's hearing Seward screaming, "I'll kill you."
Yes.
At Francis. I mean, he's screaming, "I'll kill you."
Right, so his last memories of his dad are going to be
him going,
"I'll kill you," and going nuts when he's been accused of murder. So now he's going to be taking that with him. Great. That murderous streak is in me.
Right.
Oh, Francis is a piece of human garbage here.
Seward is getting dressed for the execution, and they're walking him down.
Oh, wait. You missed a key thing, because this plays in later. Sarah tells Ray, as he's getting pulled out, and she's trying to calm him down, she tells him to look at the trees. Yes. Look out the window. Look at the trees. Center yourself.
Yes.
Look at your trees that we were talking about. This is a really important point.
It is.
Leading up to what happens.
Up to something. And so he's going through, they're walking him down, but he drops and they are dragging him. I mean, they're trying to get him down there and he refuses to walk.
Right.
Because I mean, my gosh,
could
you imagine?
And as this is happening, Sarah's there and she's devastated and Holder's telling her, he's trying to comfort her and she's going, it's over.
Well, it's as he's going down the hallway with the guards, she's gone by now. And he looks out the window, and Sarah and Adrian are standing outside the window so he could see him.
Yes.
I mean, way to go,
she
Sarah.
Said, look at the trees.
Yeah, but way to go, Sarah, for at least
Adrian
giving him...
waves, and he's able to see him.
Yes.
Right at the moment where, he was crying, he's pushing. Now he bucks up, like,
my kid's watching.
I gotta be a man. I gotta show him I'm doing this with dignity. Oh, it's awful.
It is just a
You know what? I'll tell you right now, if this was me, Molly is not seeing me go with dignity. Molly's seeing me cry.
Right.
I'm going to be like...
How about you just don't kill people?
I'm going to be like lifting my shirt. Does this help? Would you want to look at my belly? Or anything.
Ew.
Anything.
Ew. Well, that's disgusting.
Well, I don't know what else to do.
Why would she want to look at your
Not her. The guards.
Oh, why would that happen?
I don't know. I would be so out of my mind.
That's just gross.
Want to look at my belly?
No, no one does.
Wait, you're looking at my belly, Stan.
No one is looking at your belly, Stan. So Sarah's there at the execution, and Seward's...
We were just laughing.
I'm not. I have to get this. This is painful. Seward's final statement is, Salisbury steak is not steak. It's ground beef. And then he says, let's get this show on the road, Warden.
Oh.
And then he didn't freaking die when the rope dropped him.
Well, you're jumping.
I am jumping because it's horrifying.
Well,
if you want to fill in,
he's standing there. They go over what his crimes are. They offer him the final statement, which he does. They put the hood over him. Then they put the noose around his neck, and it's paralleling what we saw at the very beginning of the episode. Only this time it's Ray, and he is freaking out.
Oh my gosh! Could you even imagine?
I mean, once again, here's a situation where I didn't breathe watching this. And he's just going, and he's under the mask, and Sarah's sitting there. She has to watch. She's a witness. They're all sitting there witnessing.
And she knows
he's innocent.
Didn't do it.
It's horrible.
It's what?
It's horrible. I kind of did a little burp there in the middle of it. But they hang him. And when he drops, all that stuff about weighing him and getting it right, guess what? They didn't get it right. And I would not be surprised if Francis didn't fudge that to make it worse. Because I just think nothing good of Francis.
But I think when they do it wrong, they could get sued.
Can they?
Yeah. Because when there are botched executions, they get in trouble. that's why they were freaking out, because they're like, we can't be off by even ounces because it's not going to work. And his family can then sue.
Well, then they're getting sued because
his family has to care enough.
Right. His neck doesn't break, and that's why it's called 6 minutes. It takes 6 minutes for them to suffocate hanging there. And that's exactly what he does. And the last shot we see as we hear him stop suffocating is Sarah's face, and she looks horrified. It was a gut-wrenching episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really?
I did not think for 1 second they were killing this guy.
No.
I never
I
believed
did during
that they were
season,
killing this guy.
But I didn't think they were killing him now.
I never did.
Before the end of the series.
I never did. I fully believed
he would get a stay of execution.
That he was going to get. They were going to find enough to put reasonable doubt.
I even through this episode, I was thinking that he would get a stay of execution, but until this episode, I really did believe that they were going to kill him. I thought it would be in the final episode. He'd get killed, and then it would come out that there was somebody else. I thought that's what would happen, and we're kind of getting that. But no, they pulled it earlier. And as far as everything's concerned now, you know, we saw Joe get arrested. We know that they believe fully that Joe did it. Sarah's the only one that believes that Seward's innocent. But how the hell is it Joe?
Well, Joe didn't kill Seward's wife.
Right.
Because he was in Alaska.
Right. But if he didn't kill Seward's wife and those rings were in his case, how did Joe kill all those girls?
And how did Joe get Seward's wife's ring?
Right.
Like, none of this makes any sense.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
So Joe was clearly being framed, but by whom?
Right.
And what is going on?
But was he? We were saying he clearly was, but was he? We still don't know.
How did he get Seward's wife's rings?
He may have been framed for that, but not for the other stuff.
I don't know.
So whoever killed Seward's wife may have put that ring in there, which leads us back to Carl or somebody. So you know what?
Francis Henderson.
Let me tell you this.
There's so many people that
we're going to find out. Well, yeah, we don't know. What if we find out in the next episode that Francis has a history where it would have put him in this situation, or Henderson has a situation that would have put him in this situation, and Seward never knew what they looked like. Maybe Francis was having an affair with Seward's wife back then, and it just happens that he's the guard here, and that's what's led us to this point.
I don't know. We're going to find out.
We don't know.
Let's
but
go.
There's any number of people
Let's
it could
go
be.
watch it.
Yes. So we're going to finish this thing out. Thank you for listening, everybody. I know it was a little bit shorter episode, but frankly, I didn't want to spend a lot of time in this in the gallows here.
Well, no, but there wasn't a whole lot.
No, there wasn't.
We covered it.
The next episode probably going to be a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you again for listening. You can find past episodes of this and all our other podcasts at our website, which is www.southgatemediagroup.com. You can find us on Twitter, find the show at The Killing Pod, find me at R. Southgate, and find Martha
at SMG Pods.
You can find us on Tumblr. Just type in southgatemediagroup.com. Find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Today I was working on our TuneIn Radio thing, so if you go to TuneIn Radio, you can get all of our shows and all of our podcasts there too. It's really a cool app. For people that are radio fans. I just love it. It makes it look like we're a real radio station, not just a podcast station. Yeah, I think that's it. Mm-hmm. Oh, Pinterest too. We have a Pinterest board for this. Join us on Pinterest. Get in conversation with us. Rate us. Review us. Tell us what you think, especially going into this next season. What do you think is going to happen in season 4? Let's hear from you. Our email is southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. And if you do have some theories, and they're good ones, we will definitely read them on the final episode or maybe the first episode of season 4. So please do that. We would love to hear from you. We might even do a little special episode in the middle there if we get enough of those responses. That's it, everyone. Thank you again for listening. For The Killing Podcast, I'm Rob Southgate.
I'm Martha Southgate.
Until next time, man, we need to find out where's Callie. Did Joe do it? Did Seward do it? Did Carl do it?
Somebody did it.
Who did it? Who smelt it? Because they dealt it. Yeah. If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button.
It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.